COVID and so forth and so on, you don't go places you don't absolutely have to be. And so we're going to stay here this week. We're still getting all the guests. We just don't have to be hanging out on rooftop decks and getting potentially sick. And
yeah, it was a different experience, I think, last year in Miami than it will be in Tampa this year.
So it was funny. I remember the last time there was a Super Bowl in Tampa. I remember it so well because I had worked in Tampa, and then I left Tampa, and then so I knew the city a little bit, and they had another Super Bowl. So I go there. It was the most fun I've ever had because I knew all the restaurants.
Right.
And then the Eagles were in town. So I was hanging out one night at the Marriott. That was my hotel. I was down as customary at the bar. And there was just a bunch of fun people there from Tampa. And they're like, hey, the Eagles are right next door to arena. And I was like, all right. So we walked out the Marriott, walked down to watch the Eagles. And they went 20 straight songs, and I sang to all of them. You know, the Eagles were one of those bands, they've been around so long. And I remember turning to one of the people I was with, and I'm like, they don't have any bad songs. We got like 20 songs in a row. Even the Beatles, after like 16, you're like, okay, I didn't like that one so much. And I just remember having so much fun. That Tampa had a way. Tampa's like, Miami is flashy. Tampa's a little old. But it's a good Super Bowl site. Very good Super Bowl site. Stefon Diggs is joining us now live, I'm told, the Pro Bowl receiver for the Buffalo Bills joining us. Brought to you by Old Spice Dynasty. So you had the most receiving yards, Stefon, by any player in the history of the league on a new team, which is insane. When did you know this is going to work? Like, this is going to be good. When did you know that?
That's tough. Like, the first... in training camp, you kind of like got off to a slow start. Like I had like a little injury. I had injured my back a little bit. I missed a couple of days, and I kind of got the ball rolling like a little late. And going into week one, we played the Jets. So kind of learning your quarterback and learning the nuances of new offenses. And it's like, you know how it is. It can be a learning curve. But around like game 3, game 4, is when I was like this. Josh Allen is the real deal. Like, I don't know what I need to do, but I need to get my stuff in order because he's the real deal. Like, and I need to come ready to play. So I kind of just start, watching a little bit more tape, spending more time with him, and getting to know him. I feel like it made for a great relationship the more I got to know him. And, that's when I really knew.
Well, I've been supporting Deshaun Watson all week, and I say, listen, players' careers are very short. I can do this talk radio thing forever, but your guy's career is 7-8 years. So you were outspoken. You said, listen, man, I've done it here. I've been good to you. You've been good to me. I want out. When you were going through that, the fans are probably beating up on you. Stefon, you're the worst guy. So when you were going through that, take me to where you were when the fans are like banging on you and you're not a Viking, you're not loyal.
Yes. It was real tough for me because I was one of those guys that pride myself on loyalty and respect and trust. And, it's so tough that you have a fan base and then you have an organization. So when you have an organization, whatever you're going through within the organization, you never want it to come off with the fans. And it's kind of hard because you feel like you're as one, but we're not always on the same page. So when that process happened, they called me all the names in the book. I got 1 million tweets, 1,000 comments about how bad I am. And I was just like this. I can't really say anything because I've been this guy for so long. And this is the first time they ever spoke of me this way, other than in like, a respectful way, a hardworking guy. So it was something that I had to endure. And I was like this, regardless if it's the narrative or not, built around me, I'm going to change that this upcoming season going into my new situation. I got a fresh start, and I'm going to make sure I earn the respect of my teammates and my coaches before anybody. So kind of unique. You seeing a guy like Deshaun Watson, who's done so many great things. He's been an activist in the community. He's giving back. He's done so much for Houston. He's been a hell of a quarterback. To see people say anything about him other than he's a great guy, it's surprising because he's done so many great things and not necessarily just football related. So he's got that microscope on him, and I don't know the situations in its in and out, but I'm supporting him 100%. And if a guy like that is troubled or is in a bad place or feels like he wants more for himself, I say go for it. I'm getting behind him 100%.
So you hear, hey, we're sending you to Buffalo. And you're probably thinking, Buffalo? It snows in like August. Buffalo. Yeah. But did you, pretty quickly, did you feel like, oh, they love me? I mean, how long did it take before you're like, I'm good with Buffalo. I'm good with Buffalo.
No. Even with the trade, because they gave up so much to get me, which was kind of like, it was such a weird spot to be in because they gave up so much to get me and they believed in me. And it was just like, that's all I really wanted from my organization and from my team and the people that I'm playing for. So when it happened, Bills of Mafia got behind me immediately. I got a million tweets when I got traded. Aside from the comments from just the fans in my previous place, Buffalo engaged and welcomed me like, we're riding with you, we got you. We know we're going to do X, Y, Z. By then, like, I'm not thinking about, AFC championship or playoffs or anything. I'm just thinking about, damn, I just got traded. And they already, they already talking about all the good things that end up happening, luckily. But for me, I was just so happy. I was so happy to have a new situation, is to have a group of people embrace me the way that they did. I was just so thankful. Like throughout that season, I was so thankful to the point where, like, I was like, I took like 1 second to look back, like, damn, it's been a hell of a year. Everything that's going on and to have success. Hey, don't show that clip of him beating me one-on-one. We played one-on-one, my bad. But it's just been great, and I had a great time.
1 minute left. Tell me Josh Allen's just a big old kid. Was there a throw he made in camp or something where you were just like, nothing against Kirk Cousins, but was there a play in camp or something you were just like, oh, my God?
It was a couple of them. Like throughout this season in training camp, he had I ran like a post in one-on-ones. He threw it on the line, and I've never seen a post thrown on the line 60 yards. He was just doing stuff that I never really seen. I've had some good quarterbacks with some great arm talent, but a guy that's ability that can run, is mobile. It was one play that really made him, like, for me, put him in my heart, because it said a lot to me that he's made up the same way I am. And it was a play where a guy got a pick, like the DB in practice got a pick, and he hates that. Like, he hates that to the point where, as though, like, he told me the next play, he said, run a post. I'm throwing right at him. Run a post right now. So I run a post. I'm like 60, 70 yards down the field. He throws it, he gives me a chance. I make the play on the ball, and he comes back like this. Like, there we go, 14. And that kind of energy and that kind of, moxie from the quarterback position, it makes you want to play better. It makes you want to go out there and give it some more. So, that made him like this. Oh, he's a competitor. He's a dog. So I can work with him.
You're as good as any player in the NFL at your position. Next time you're in LA, stop by our set. We'll put you down. We'll have a bunch of time. I know you're doing a zillion interviews today, and I understand it. Stefon Diggs, Old Spice Dynasty, and their YouTube channel. We got to run. You're a great dude. Get out to LA for a weekend. We'll put you on the chair.
I appreciate it. Thanks, big guy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Stefon Diggs. You know what I love is you're a great player, and he had a good year, and then he goes to another place, and there's a little fear. Small market, Buffalo's not free agent, hotbed, and he goes there, and all of a sudden, after about 4 practices with Josh Allen, you're like, okay, it's going to work. Like, listen, man, that's scary. You get one shot at these careers. You get one shot, and he's good there, and they send him to Buffalo that doesn't have a great 20-year history outside of Jim Kelly's years. And then I'm 4 or 5 practices in, he probably figured out, okay, I got my guy. He throws a deep ball, I run a deep